hour. And I don't know. I think I was really impressed just at how varied the levels were. Every world in the game had a theme. They were incredibly insane themes, but they were still themes. There was the ice food level, and there was the underwater pirate level, and there was the desert music levels. But you kind of go all around the world, and then you kind of do the whole thing over again. Once you get halfway through the game, they start to unlock kind of even more difficult versions of the same levels that you've been through. It's funny, though, because when they do that, they also introduce boss monsters. And there's one thing in this game that I could say was a little bit weak. They had some boss fights that were not the best. They were very much like you just memorize the pattern, and if you mess up one time, you're dead, and you got to start over from the beginning.
A little bit of old school arcade action there.
Yeah, which for a game that was as liberally, or not, I guess not liberally, but was as cleverly checkpointed as this, those battles tend to get really repetitive because it was very much a lot of trial and error. And so if you messed up, you just died back to the beginning and then do it all over again.
That was it.
But you don't get so pissed off that you want to throw your controller off across the room. At least I didn't. I was just so angry that I was like, no, I'm going to finish this. I'm going to take care of that boss. I'm going to reach the end of the level. So you're right, there's a lot of trial and error, but not so much that it puts you to the point of frustration.
I think in the later levels, like if you're not a patient person, you could get to that point. There were a few, especially in the last stage of the game, that got to be where the time in between the time between when you start this chunk of the level that you're on and then when you checkpoint the next place that you checkpoint started to get a lot longer, and there were a lot of places in between where you could just die instantly. So there were, whenever you die 20 times in the game, it does that really depressingly horrible thing where it brings up that screen. It's like, hey, it's really hard here. Do you want to leave? Do you want to go somewhere else? You're like, no, game, this is where I'm supposed to be. Fuck off.
It's like, oh, do you need a hug? This is a level too hard for the little baby.
But I started to send me, man.
I started seeing that screen come up more and more often later on in the game because I would plow through 20 lives like it was nobody's business, just trying to get through a level or to the next point. The very end part of the game, I must have stayed on the same 60-second sequence for maybe like an hour or two, just trying to get through this one part. But then when I did, I almost spiked my control on the ground and screamed, "Fuck you, Rayman!" at the TV.
The mosquito bits were quite fun. There are certain points of the game where you can jump on a giant mosquito and just fly around and recreate the scene from Star Wars where you're like in the Death Star and stuff like that. I thought that was quite a lot of fun.
Death Star?
The first film where you're like in the X-Wing fighters and stuff. Oh, you did not go on the giant mosquitoes once?
No, we got that. I just didn't see any Star Wars connections, like, at all. Ever.
Okay, fine. All right. You're going to poke fun in my...
I'm not poking fun. I'm giving you a shot. Explain yourself, Nick, please, for the love of God.
Okay. Oh, God. Okay, it reminded me of
Maybe we all see different things on this game, much like an acid trip.
Okay, sure.
Like we're all on peyote.
What does it remind you of when you're on the giant mosquito and you're flying around shooting things?
Gradius,
yeah.
What? I don't even know what Gradius is.
Oh, yeah, because you're like 12 or something. Okay, anyway.
24, but okay. And a half.
And a half. I'm this many.
This big. All right.
Well, Nick, you had mentioned that you'd played some of this co-op. Did you play a lot of the game with somebody else, or did you play it mostly by yourself?
I played it all with someone else.
Oh, really?
I invited someone over. Well, truth be told, I just said to him, dude, I got this game, Rayman, and I don't want to play it by myself. Could you, come on over? It's like, sure. So we got like a bunch of beers.
At the game store?
Could you spot me?
No, my mate at school, he's like, oh, do you want to go out clubbing? I was like, no, I can't. I got to play this stupid Rayman game. It's like, oh, why? And I was like, I've got to review it. And he's like, oh, I can give you a hand if you want. I heard it's 2-player. Yes, please, come on over. Just help it make it bearable for me.
That was a really weird first date, Nick.
So you're just jealous you weren't invited, Jason?
I'm very, very jealous.
This is something that I've been interested in. Like, it seems like, at least when I was playing the game, even 2 or 3 levels in, it started to get hairy kind of to the point where I couldn't really see playing that game with another person, as it seemed like it would get to a point where it would actually be more I don't know that many people who could keep up with the pace that some of the later levels in that game demand. So I guess my question is, did you find that, were you dying a lot? Was the other person dying a lot? Did it seem like it was like you were kind of carrying them through the level, or did it just kind of go, was it regular and easy, normal?
To be honest, I can't imagine playing this game by myself, because when you die, your character turns into like a giant bubble and you fly around, and your other teammate has to punch the bubble, and then you could start running again. So if you die, you would have to start the level all over again, but if you've got a buddy helping you out, then that makes things a little bit easier.
Yeah, but a lot of times it's your buddy's fault that you died to begin with. Jeff, I'm looking at you.
I'm not going to dispute that. That's why I was saying it seems like it would be harder to play with somebody else, because the main attack in this game is the slap, and if the other person happens to be near you, you slap them. And the first time you slap them, you learn that that's really all I want to do from now on.
Exactly.
I love how Jeff was implying that no one can keep up with me, and then Jason just put him down. I was like, you were the one who was fucking dying all the time, mate.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I mean, the one thing I will say for this game is that it does have really fast reload times. So even when you do manage to both die.
For those of you that really suck, it's okay. It reloads really quickly.
I guess the thing is that I'm seeing that I'm thinking about the later levels of the game get to a point where you have to do so much kind of like pinpoint jumping, and you're doing this pinpoint jumping at high speeds, like you get thrown down a ramp and you've got to jump, that I think it would be really difficult, especially with the collision of the different characters, to do that with more than, with two people. I mean, the beginning of the game, fine, easy, whatever, but later on I could see where it might become a little bit of a pain in the ass. Let's see. I don't know. Nick, do you have any problems with the game? Anything bad you'd like to bring up?
Well, to be honest, this game's not really for me. I mean, I would only buy it just because we're doing a review for it. But I think it's great for kids, though. I cannot, piece together like a coherent paragraph or an essay of what this game means to me or anything like that, because it's just so bloody insane. But ratings-wise, I'd say rental if you're just want to pick up and play. But full price if you got a kid or something like that, or a nephew or a little cousin you want to buy something for Christmas. So yeah,
fair enough. I think that the game has a lot of value, just because there's a lot of incentive to go back and replay levels that you haven't finished or you haven't gotten a perfect score on. I'd still kind of wrestle with it though, because this game is $60, and for what it is, it really seems like it should be more like a $40 game. But I'm going to say that, if you're into side scrolling at all, or you're into, weird stuff, and this looks like the sort of game you'd like to play, I'd give it a full price. I mean, I think anybody who likes a side scroller could really enjoy this game. If you're not a big fan of side scrollers, like Nick said, maybe just give it a rental. But other than that, I think it's worth it. So I guess that's Rayman. And you know what? I think this is probably going to be the last video game review we do in 2011.
What about Jason? Did you give your rating for this?
Oh, I only played it on the playthrough when Jeff and I were playing it live, and
that still counts, mate. Come on.
No, not really. I don't think that was quite enough. But I really liked what I did play, and I would actually dive into it again if I actually had time to play anything. For leisure, but I don't. So.
Oh, I thought he was going to say, if I had a gun at my head, I would love to dive back into this.
No, if I was out of peyote and there was a copy of Rayman, that would be a good substitute.
Okay, so now all that I can see is the next Saw movie, like, I want to play a game. It's like, I've given you a 10-strip of acid. You have to play through all of Rayman in 12 minutes.
That will kill someone. That will irreparably break someone's mind.